kind of the thrill of the hunt to seek out these places, especially when I hear rumors of assorted haunted houses and places, and to track them down on very sketchy information. And it is the thrill of the hunt to track them down after years of searching. I've been a photographer for some years, just collecting photographs of things that I think are interesting. And after a while, you start amassing great quantities of information about these places, and I just decided to put it on the web for other people to see. It was a very small website to start with, and next thing you knew, it doubled almost every day in size. And before you knew it, I had people sending me about 50 emails a day with suggestions for things to check out. And USA Today did a big article about me, and I was Yahoo.com's pick of the week. And these two happened at about the exact same time, and the resulting bandwidth crushed my website. I was getting more visitors to the website than I could possibly afford to maintain the site, because there's no advertising on it. I don't sell advertising. It's not a for-profit venture. It's just for fun. There is too much information out there, and most of it's bad information. I get a lot of emails from people with anecdotes like, I have a friend whose second cousin's sister saw a ghost at such and such, and it leaves me no information with which to track it down, and really no inclination to do so if that's all they have. But I have to weed through a lot of that in order to find things that are potentially worthwhile. Well, right here in Louisville we have the Pope Lick Monster. And the Pope Lick Monster has been sort of a Bigfoot type manifestation. It's been reported for most of this century. It's a Bigfoot type furry humanoid, but with sort of a goat-like face and horns. And it's said to haunt a railroad bridge trestle on Taylorsville Road. I've originally found the reports just comical of the horned furry man in the woods, so I've gone out there a lot, photographed it, actually painted it, and one of my most popular paintings is of the Pope Lick Monster. I think people are looking for more facts and more information than they would from just oral storytelling, where you're entertained and titillated enough by a campfire story. But when you're reading it in the format of the internet, hopefully, anyway, I like to think that there's more of a leaning towards search for facts in a matter. Of course, it's not always the case on the internet. There's a lot of misinformation and disinformation, but in general, I think it's making folklore smarter. The oral tradition might get lost in the shuffle of the cyberspace way of telling stories, but I think people will always be talking, and people will always be talking to their grandchildren. Even if they're showing them a website, they'll still talk about the website as they look at it together, just as they would a storybook. That's my hope, anyway. The website gets very popular around Halloween. The bandwidth probably triples around Halloween time. And I try to do extra things during the season to make it focus more towards ghosts and hauntings. The website isn't always about, Charles Manson and UFOs and crazy gory stuff. To me, unusual is a very wide spanning term that can include just quaint houses, interesting communities, nice old-time diners that you don't see very often anymore, and something as trivial as the fact that the hand railing behind Boone Tavern in Berea, Kentucky has a penny wedged into the handle of it, and it's had that penny wedged into it for as long as I can remember, and little stupid things like that that amuse me. Muhammad Ali is said to have thrown his medals into the river as a sign of protest during the 1960s. And they could still be in there. The medals are very heavy. They had the bands around them, so they could have gotten caught on something. And it has always been one of my in the back of my mind, like back burner projects to go and find those medals, do a little scuba diving and see if I could find them. Although a lot of states have websites of this type, and there are books for various areas, I think Kentucky beats them all. I think Kentucky is a very special state that is loaded, and I've only scratched the surface. It's loaded with interesting stories, people, places, things. Some say the Indians feared but also respected this territory, and to this day the Native Americans hold it in high regard. There's just something special, very special, and that goes back to antiquity, something very old and special about this territory of land that we call Kentucky. I'm just doing what I always do, going out and creeping around, taking pictures. If the website continues, that's great, but really, for me, it's just about my own personal exploration of our state, and I enjoy showing other people. I'm sort of the weird tour guide of the underbelly of Kentucky.